friends, I'm Stephanie Hansen. Let's go! I've been cooking, eating, and talking about it for years.
This is amazingly good.
Now I'm inviting you along for the ride. You seem like you're pretty adventurous about food. Meet the chefs, home cooks, restaurateurs, and bakers honing their crafts. Oh, look at that technique. And try new recipes with me in my kitchen. It's simple, it's easy, that looks amazing. There's always something delicious to share. This is Taste Buds. Taste Buds, it is spring, it is gardening season. It is also the season to forage plants from the wilderness. And I am with my friend, Chef Alan Bergo. He is the forager chef. We're gonna go out, we're gonna forage together, we're gonna grab a bunch of greens, and he will also cook for us. And then we're going to my house and we're gonna make my very easy mushroom pappardelle sage pasta, because if you ever get mushrooms at home, you have to make them with pasta. It is so delicious. Let us go and find Alan, because you guys are gonna die when you meet him. He knows everything there is to know about plants. This is like my dream day. Let's go, Taste Buds. Okay, I know these have not been chemically treated because we're out at an organic farm, and you can eat dandelion greens, and sometimes you would find these in your box of greens from the farmer's market. Alan! Can we just talk about your coat a minute? You're gonna be like my dog, where I'm just gonna be picking burrs off you the whole time we're walking.
At least they're not ticks.
True, true. All right, Taste Buds, we are in a secret location in western Wisconsin that I have always heard is like full of glorious produce right in the ground. Alan, you are so amazing. You are the forager chef, and you are eating all of the natural abundance in the world around us. How did you learn all this stuff?
It's a learned skill like anything else. I mean, years of study and some really talented friends who know a lot more than I do.
That's always the best. You're my talented friend who knows a lot more than I do. And we're gonna forage today, you guys. What do you think we'll find? Because when we were talking, you said it's high foraging season.
Yeah, this is peak season for wild greens, and there could be like 20 to 30 different types of edible plants. I mean, when's the last time that you ate that many plants in a single dish?
Never, probably. I am not great about foraging, so.
Well, I mean, a lot of people won't eat that kind of variety of vegetables in an entire year.
True, but we feel sad for them. That's not who we're gonna be.
Yeah,
we're gonna be people that are gonna eat things right from the ground that we're gonna walk and pick, and you're gonna show us how.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it.
We're just like the animals out here, and we're eating the tender young growth of these plants. So this is a basswood tree, maybe 250 years old.
Oh, you can eat it right off the tree?
They're so good. Yeah, so I call this the goat. This is the same thing that a goat or a deer, they'll get up on their hind legs and they will eat from the tree. And they kind of taste a little bit like green beans or peas. And it's totally fine to harvest. You're not gonna hurt the tree.
They are very delicious.
Aren't they lovely?
Very vegetal.
Yeah, but they're not bitter. Just like a goat.
Yum, pretty tasty.
We just want the little tight ones, but even these, like these unfurling ones, these are fine too.
Okay.
Even when the leaves are very small, as long as they're like this and they're still translucent looking, any of the leaves on this tree are going to be fine to eat.
Can you eat these little purple flowers?
Those are violets, yes.
That's what I thought.
And we're going to harvest some of them. These go on my fiddlehead salads.
I have these in my yard.
Yeah, everyone has violets in their yard, and I use these on all kinds of things. I mean, it is just the season for them, and what a beautiful little pop of purple color they add to the plate.
We haven't even walked 20 feet, and we almost already have enough things for a salad.
So this is a plant that I hate. This is garlic mustard, and it's horribly invasive, and it has a tendency to crowd out our native wildflowers, and the plant is allelopathic. It's like chemical warfare with plants, and it puts chemicals in the ground to inhibit the growth of other plants, so that's why garlic mustard can just take over and become a complete monoculture.
That's why I have it in my garden, and I'm always digging it out, I think.
Yeah, but we'll get a couple shoots because we want some bitter plants for the horta that we're going to make.
Not horchata, which is a milk and almond drink. Horta.
No, horta. It's the way that Greeks prepare their wild plants. I'm going to find a nice patch of sochan here.
Okay, sotan.
Sochan.
Sochan.
This is Rudbeckia laciniata. It is a cousin of black-eyed Susan, which is also edible, and this is most commonly known as a culturally significant plant in Cherokee cuisine.
Okay, Alan, have you gotten sick? That's, I think, the #1 thing that people fear.
Never with plants. With mushrooms, once, but it was not the mushroom's fault. It was my fault for undercooking it. Here's a cool one. This is toothwort, and it is a brassica.
Oh, like a broccoli or a cauliflower.
Do you like horseradish?
I do, love.
Then you'll like it. So the roots actually of a larger species that can be found a little bit south of us, you can grate and make into horseradish. So this will add another
Yum.
little bit of a bitter.
It's gonna be
Flavor.
like really nice flavor when it's cooked.
So here we can see these are all
Wow.
ramps.
Wow.
So what happened here is that cows from the dairy farm
Wow.
grazed these hillsides and they ate all the plants. And then the ramps, they make their seed heads in the summer. So when all the plants have been eaten, the ramps have free reign and you get this basically monoculture, lovely monoculture, a phrase that I don't use very often, of wild leeks.
I've never seen a patch this big
And this
myself.
is peak season. This is peak season for ramps. I'm just gonna take a few leaves from each cluster. I'm never going to remove all of the ramps from within a hand span. You know, stinging nettle is edible.
I really hate those.
Oh, wait till you taste them. This is wood nettle, and the stingers are way worse than stinging nettle. We'll just break it where it's tender, and there's our little wood nettle shoot.
Okay.
And the flavor of these, if you steam them, it is like eating a mouthful of apple blossoms or something. It is unbelievably interesting. So good, delicious.
So you're planting native species in your garden so that you can walk right out your door and have things.
And just to have them around, they're like, all the plants are like my friends. I wake up and I look out my window and I can see the little angelica and the cow parsnip and the ramps and the sochan growing. It just makes me feel happy, like all my friends are there.
That makes my heart happy too.
Every year I look forward to seeing my friends again.
I have a friend every year that has Concordia grapes.
Concord grapes.
Yeah, Concord, that's it. Not the college.
This is a fun plant. This is Gallium triflorum, also known as sweet scented bedstraw. So this is the plant that I call wild vanilla.
Okay.
And it's hard to smell like this, but it contains coumarin. Coumarin used to be used to flavor Mexican vanilla. So I take the plant and I dry it out, or you can use fresh. I cover it in alcohol, I let it sit for a month, strain it out. I haven't bought vanilla extract in like 6 years, and it's a lot more interesting.
Alan, what is this cute little flower?
Oh, that is spring beauty. Gather a bunch of those and we're gonna put those on our salad too. This is mitsuba, that's Japanese parsley. This is not dew. The guttation on the leaves, you can see how it's concentrated on the edge of the leaves. That is a secretion from the plant, it's not dew. Plant secretions. I found the fiddleheads. We want them like this. We want a tightly coiled crozier is the term.
Okay. And if we cut that off, then that won't reproduce this year.
Yeah, so we're never going to take all of the fern stalks, but that also isn't usually a problem because these, we're only taking, 1, 2, or 3 from a whole cluster, and it's fine. Oh, look at these big ones. Oh, yummy. Oh, look at that one.
Okay, this is like, I knew this was gonna be like a moment of my life. Like, I've always wanted to forage with someone as smart as Alan, and as fun and as kind is like my dream.
It's special on fiddles today at the grocery store. Everything's free.
Alan, you must save a lot of money on food,
Yes.
because you're just eating from everything that's outside.
Yes, I do. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, look at that guy. Oh, man.
I don't know if you can hear how excited Alan is. He keeps saying, yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. There's some other ferns here. One of these ferns looks like food. The other one does not. And we can see this fern here, this is Madiuca struthiopteris, has really noticeable U shape on the stem. And this one has one, but it also has all this stuff going down the stem. It is a slight U shape, but this also just doesn't look like food.
No, it looks like ants on a log, and
Yes.
you wouldn't want to eat that.
Okay, we can go back. Picking the flowers off the ground.
Okay, it's warming up, and I took off my jacket, and then I dropped my bucket, and I'm trying to make sure I get all of the little things that we need. But now they all are a little dirty and mixed up, not organized. I'll have to sort them when I get back. Holy cats. All right, Alan. fun. We've assembled all of our ingredients and brought them back into this beautiful farm space. And you are gonna show us that we can actually cook with the things that we foraged.
Absolutely.
What are we gonna make?
We're gonna make my favorite fiddlehead salad. This is probably my favorite way to have the fiddleheads. The whole thing is edible as long as they're tightly coiled. So we cut the stem into bite-sized pieces, and these have just been blanched for 2 minutes and not shocked in water because that can make them discolor. We'll take a little bit of salt, and then I have a little bit of dill and mint. You could use your favorite herbs, but you want to use soft herbs here. We're not going to use rosemary or thyme.
Okay.
Then we're going to take those beautiful little basswood leaf clusters.
I can
and we're
already
gonna-
smell.
We're going to toss those in.
The ones that I didn't drop out of my basket on the ground.
Yes. And then we're going to take our mitsuba greens. It's a lovely little green, and the stems.
A stem mitsuba green.
It's like a parsley stem. And we just put the whole leaves in there. And then we're gonna take some of the Smoothies sunflower
Don't you
oil.
love them?
I love
They're
the
the
Smoothies.
best. I know, they're the best family.
We'll add a
Lemon.
little bit of fresh lemon. And then the key is we just taste and season until it tastes good to us. Give it a try.
That's delicious. Maybe a little more salt.
Yeah, just a pinch.
But what I loved about it was the fiddlehead fern is acting like a little sponge for flavor. It's absorbing that oil, it's absorbing the lemon juice, it's absorbing all of those flavors.
And we put it into a bowl. And one of my favorite parts about spring is that nature really provides the beauty here. What we have to do is really minimal.
Hello, spring beauty. Do you talk to your food?
Yes,
I do too.
talk to my food and my cat at the same time. And there we go. Voila. Spring.
Voila. Spring on a plate.
Now we're gonna do our ramp dip. So this is just something that I made before. It's a roasted jalapeno cream cheese ramp dip. And we're just gonna cover the top with all of the violet flowers.
That looks super delicious.
There's 12 ounces of ramps in 2 cups of dip.
Oh.
So it's a whole bunch of ramps. So you get the fresh, warm flavor, and then you get the sweet flavor of the cooked greens together.
That's a lot of ramps.
It is a lot of ramps, because that's how we do. I love the yellow of this is the fresh dandelions, and we'll sprinkle. The flowers, they give you such a nice pop of color.
Whenever we say ramp, Stephanie and I have a habit, Stephanie's my radio partner, of saying it like people in the Midwest say bars. They go bars, so we say ramps.
Ramps.
We've got ramps. Oh, look at, you're really loading it up. I love it.
I love the garlic breath.
Okay, all right. Wow.
It starts out hot, but then there's a little bit of sweet.
That's fantastic.
One of the best tastes of spring to me.
Oh my gosh, I could just eat all of that. We're moving on to the horta, which is, I got it right?
Yes.
All the greens that we foraged today. And I do love like stir-fried greens, like I love Swiss chard, I love kale. Are we doing something kind of similar?
No, these plants are boiled.
Okay, no, we're boiling them.
Boiled plants, and I know boiling isn't really like a romantic sounding way to cook anything, but it is one of the best, especially we have so many different plants here.
Yes.
They might have different cooking times. So dandelions will take longer to cook than these fresh wood nettles or these other stinging nettles or the garlic mustard. Boiling is a fast way of cooking that allows you to have complete control over the tenderness of your greens. And we're gonna season the water with salt until it tastes like the sea. So that's gonna be about a 1/4 cup to about 1.5 gallons of water. Okay, our water is up to a boil. So now we're just gonna take all of our plants and it's everybody in the pool.
Yeah, it's really cooking down quite quickly.
Take the cockleburs out. Twigs.
That's funny.
So we're going to cook them until they're tender and they taste good to us.
Okay.
I try to encourage people to make sure that they enjoy how something tastes and not just strictly follow a recipe.
That's a chef way of looking at things. Sometimes the home cooks, we're just trying to get it right.
Now the greens are
look at
ready.
that.
Take all of our boiled greens and we just let them drain naturally in the colander. Now we just take our plants and kind of arrange them a little bit.
Looks like spaghetti.
And now plenty of oil. They're crying out for fat. a good squeeze of lemon, and then just salt to taste. So I just twirl them around like noodles. With horta, you want to cook the greens whole, so that keeps the character and the texture of the plants, and we just twist them around a fork just like noodles.
Not bitter at all, and I would have thought maybe more bitter just based on what we picked and what we tried out in the field.
Every bite is a little bit different. There will be some bitterness in there, and there should be. There will be some sweetness. There will be some herbal notes from the sochan. Every bite is different.
I like the viscosity with the oil too. Super delicious, Alan. Okay, well this is gonna be challenging. Ready?
You just keep twisting. And it would be so much less fun if the greens were all chopped up.
You're right, it would be less fun.
Like part of the reason I love this recipe is because it honors each of the plants. Like, look at this. This is a nettle. So the little top of the nettle, this is like a little wee vegetable.
Yeah, you can still see it.
You can't buy this in a store. This is as pure as it comes. Food does not get fresher than this.
Nope. All right, we are moving on to morels, and we didn't find these on the property today. You find them in oak forests, right? And woody places.
That depends on which type of morel in Minnesota we're talking about. So the common morels that we have in like the southern portion of the state are gonna be with dead elm trees, dying ash trees, dying cottonwood trees, dying and old apple orchards.
Why do people pay so much money for them?
Because they're one of the best tasting, most dependably good mushrooms in the world. They have an extremely short season, and I just did a taste test the other day with a whole bunch of other spring mushrooms. There is only one morel. And you can see the morels are whole. So I have washed them, but I've trimmed the stem so I can see inside. So we can see, does that look clean?
Yes.
Oh no, there's a baby snake inside. Just kidding. So just make sure that all the inhabitants have been evicted, and we keep them whole because now all the butter and juices and all the good things in life can go inside of the morel, and we get everything in there. We're gonna do what's called a dry saute. So morels must be cooked thoroughly because morels, they are the state mushroom of Minnesota. They're also toxic raw.
Oh, okay.
And they need to be completely wilted. A little bit of oil.
How did you learn how to cook? Just how everybody else does, trial and error?
Learning on the job, the same way that the chefs that trained me learned, and being really curious and passionate and being hungry to learn.
Yeah, you might be the most curious person I've ever met. You knew every single name of every single plant, the common name and then their Latin name. That's hard to do.
Well, it's a learned skill like anything else. I'm not really good at home improvement stuff. I had blinds sitting on my counter that I was gonna put up, and they were there for like 2 months, and I ordered the wrong ones 3 times off of Amazon. Yeah, plenty.
We all have our skills.
Yes, I've sacrificed other things. In with the shallots, add a little bit of wine.
Deglazing our pan, getting all those little bits.
And now we're going to add some cream.
Oh, yum.
Never hurt anybody.
Nope.
And then we're going to add some of my homemade demi-glace.
You can buy that in a store, but it didn't look as rich as yours.
You can just use a splash of chicken stock.
Okay. Boy, that looks delicious.
Oh, it's terrible. You won't even like it. So the morels are done. The sauce is nice and thick. I have a little bit of ramp butter. We'll spread on the toast.
It's a really beautifully composed dish with the ramp butter, giving it that green color. You have the toastiness of the bread. Do we have to use a knife and a fork?
No,
can
you
we
can
just put our face in it?
Yeah. Voila, Maurice à la crème.
Maurice à la crème. Wow. The wine with the ramp butter and the mushrooms, they're like way better than regular mushrooms. They're fresher, subtler. The whole bite feels deliciously wild. Alan, I want to come to your house and eat with you every day.
This was so much fun. I'm so glad you guys came.
All right, I'm just over here getting all my morels, and you brought in your book.
I did. I brought you a copy.
It's so beautiful. It has recipes, information about foraging.
But it's also good just if you have a garden, like you can use whatever plants you have for a lot of things in the book.
Oh, this is so great. Thank you so much. It was fun to spend time with you today out at this beautiful farm.
Yeah, it was so much fun to have
It
you
was
out.
a blast. Thank you. It's just so great to be on this farm, to have had the opportunity to cook with Alan. He is so smart, you guys. He knows so much about plants. I'm so happy that he gave me this book. We are now gonna go to my house and we're gonna make our mushroom, pappardelle, and sage pasta, all ingredients that you can find in a grocery store, in case you wanna try your hand at getting a little wild with the mushrooms. Ready, taste buds? Let's go. So I have these R&R cultivation mushrooms. These are grown in Minnesota. These are black pearl mushrooms. These are the shiitake mushrooms. It's really incredible, all the fresh, cool mushrooms you can get in the store these days. We're gonna start with a little bit of olive oil, and what goes really well with mushrooms, a lot of butter. We've got 2 cloves of garlic. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the sage. And I've got about 2 tablespoons. And then I'm gonna start sauteing the mushrooms. I just cut these up in a little bit of a rough chop. Just gonna soak up all of the flavor of this butter. Gonna go ahead and get my noodles cooking. Again, only 2 to 3 minutes here on the noodles. If you want a little saucier sauce, you can add a little bit of the pasta water in with the mushrooms too. 2 tablespoons of sherry cooking wine. Get all of these brown pieces up off of the bottom of our pan. That is al dente, meaning done. I'm gonna drain this and then throw the noodles in with the rest of our mushroom dish. I am gonna add the cheese and a little bit of that pasta water. I'm gonna use about 1/4 cup. I'm using 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm putting all of our parsley in and just gonna give it a good stir. Look how bright and fresh. This is our pappardelle mushroom pasta. Oh, yum. Put a little like fresh sage on there. This dish I like to salt after, and you can use quite a bit of salt depending. Again, mushrooms kind of take the flavor of whatever you serve them with. A little bit of pepper, and then a little cheese. Everything's better with a little cheese, right? So simple, so incredibly good. The garlic, the butter, lots of sagey flavor. If you're not a mushroom person, I feel a little bad for you, but you could do this and just omit the mushrooms, and you could put scallions, you could put wild ramps, you really could just do arugula in there. This is real good. What an awesome episode. Foraging was a total blast. Alan Bergo is just such a good sport to take us out in the woods. If you want more information about what we did today, or you want to get the recipe for this delicious mushroom pappardelle pasta with sage, go to fox9.com/tastebuds. See you next time, taste buds.